everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jimmy, and today we'll take a look at a few tricks and shortcuts to make your day-to-day life of a Galaxy owner a little bit easier and better. So first off, we'll take a look at the Samsung keyboard. So this is pretty much the same look that you'll see in almost any application. Sometimes it can differ if you're on a website, but I'll show you that here in just a second. But when it comes down to the Samsung keyboard, one of the things that you might not know is that these punctuations on the left and the right can act a little different. So first off, on the right hand side where this period is, if you do a press and hold, it'll give you other punctuations you can use, and it's always going to stay as a period on the right hand side. So rather than you try to find these little symbols or these little punctuations, rather than you going inside of this little tab over here and trying to find it, or using the secondary row, which you can see here I have turned on. So if I want to use this percentage, I have to do a press and hold, and there it is underneath the G. So if you press and hold on your period, you'll be able to find quite a few of them just right up inside of here. And no matter which one you use, it'll always stay as a period. Now the reason why I say that is because on the left hand side, this one's customizable. So if you want this to be something different, you can press and hold. You're actually going to see some different punctuations than what you saw over here. And let's say that once you tap on one, it's actually going to stay right there. So if you're somebody who loves your little exclamation point, you can actually just select it over here on the left hand side so it can open up super quick. Same thing here. If you're somebody who uses a bunch of hashtags, you can just leave that right there. So this is just a way that you're able to find other punctuations super quick, but on the left side, it'll actually stay that way until you change it again. Again, it just makes it a little bit quicker than maybe going through this or using your secondary row. Now, next up, I want to show another shortcut inside of the keyboard, but I want to go inside of Twitter to show you my day-to-day usage of this one, and this saves a ton of time. So for this one, normally when I upload a video, I always like to share it on Twitter as well. And what I do here is, instead of me having to go out and actually write everything out fully, like all the hashtags and all of the ats and everything, pretty much I have a shortcut that's created as this: One UI 7. And I created it super simple, super easy, and something that I normally wouldn't write, because One UI 7 is something that I would actually spell out completely different, and right there, everything just pops right up. So pretty much how this works is, again, one more time, One UI 7, and I got that one. Now, another one that I have created from back in the day was, for One UI 6, and then you tap the middle, and then everything just pops right up. So you can do the same thing here if you have a certain stating or saying that you always say all the time, or if you have like an outgoing portion ending of an email that you use all the time, you can put it there. I also use it as my PO box if companies want to send me things for a review and such. So I pretty much just put I usually just say like the word Addy, and then that's going to pop up immediately if somebody is going to send something there as well too from a company. So how you set this up is, anytime you're inside of the keyboard, you just hit on your little settings button, and right there it says text shortcuts. Then inside of text shortcuts, this is where you add in and then you create it. So when you add one, you put in the shortcut, and this is the expanded phrase. So this is where you want to put in a word that normally you wouldn't write on a day-to-day basis, because if you keep putting in a normal everyday word there, then your expanded phrase will come out almost every single time, unless if you tap on that little line of the word you technically want. So this is where I create one where it's like One UI 6. It's a way that I normally wouldn't spell it if I was talking about this, and then this way it would pop up every single time. So that is how you are able to create your text shortcuts. Now, the last thing that I want to show you inside of the Samsung keyboard is, again, if you go back inside the settings and you scroll down and you take a look at layout. So when it comes down to layout, this is where you can put in those alternate characters. You also have your number keys, but as you scroll down, you'll see this option down over here. So when you're looking at a web address input, you can actually have the www and the .com show up. So let's say that we go inside of the internet over here, and if I wanted to go right there, this is where I'm able to type in a website. So right there next to the period is my www. And once I put in that www, and let's just say that we do just LLL, this is where I have the .com. So it makes it very simple. Rather than you having to type it out every single time for the wwws and the .coms, you can actually just show it up and have it pop up on your keyboard only when you're using a web-based application, or if you're just on your Chrome or Samsung internet. Now let's go inside of the gallery, and for this one, this is where, let's say that you are maybe zooming in because you're trying to figure out how you maybe want a photo to look. So it actually makes it super simple. So the fact that you are zooming in, maybe this right here is maybe possibly a type of a crop that you would like to use. Now what'll happen is as you zoom in and you're getting closer to the subject or the object or the person or whatever, you'll see this little icon right there, and that right there is a smart crop. So it'll actually crop it for you immediately, and here is your brand new image. So here was the original, and this is the cropped photo. Now moving on, this next one is definitely a shortcut more than really a trick, and this is where you'd be able to go inside of settings of something super quick. So maybe you're trying to think of doing something with your power saving. So let's say that you go inside of the settings itself, you go inside of your battery, and then you go inside of power saving. That was a lot of work to just get into those settings, when all you would have to do is when you go inside of your quick settings, and if you press and hold on that icon, it takes you directly there. And then even if you press on this little back button, it takes you right back to home. So it's super simple. You know, maybe you wanted to do some of your screenshots and screen recording settings. If you press and hold on it, it's going to give you that entire screen. So this full entire thing, rather than you trying to find it through the settings, you'd be able to find it just through there. Now, another thing that some people might not know is that when it comes down to your flashlight, rather than you just basically turning it on and turning it off, for this one, if you press and hold on it, you can change the brightness. So if you want it to be dimmer, you don't want to wake up the spouse or the kids or anything, or you need it super bright because you're trying to find something and no one is really near you, you can change the brightness of your flashlight. So a lot of times I kind of keep mine down a little bit, and if I need more, then I can just press and hold on it and I can change the brightness of the flashlight. This next feature is one that I used actually just the other day. I had a different Samsung Galaxy device taking photos and some videos, and I wanted to transfer it to this phone here because this is the one that I use on a day-to-day basis, and that's actually what inspired this video. That is where if you take a whole bunch of different photos and videos and you wanted to share it with someone else. So it doesn't even have to be somebody who even has a Samsung phone, but if they do have a Samsung phone, it's actually going to be super fast, quick, and easy. So here's a bunch of different photos. There's quite a few videos. I hit on this little share button, and then with this one, all I'd have to do is right there, click on quick share. So all it's going to do is it's going to look for something that is around you that actually has quick share turned on. So here's the Galaxy S24, and so with this one right over here, it's not popping up. So all you'd have to do for that other person is tell them to go inside of their quick share settings, and you can either do contacts only, you know, if they actually, you know, if this one actually had a SIM card and you guys were contacts and such. For this one, I'm going to do everyone, and you can even change the time, but I'm going to do it for everyone, and there it pops up immediately. So once I tap on this one, it's going to connect on over, and it's sending pretty much almost an entire gig. And so it's going to be, I think, 11 photos and 5 videos. And this is actually how quick it goes. So if you're ever trying to just send something over, use quick share. It's the quickest, most simplest, fastest way to get something over. And you can just see how quick it was for a full entire gig, pretty much. And then you're able to find it right there inside of your gallery. So this is where you can watch all your videos, take a look at the pictures, and everything else. So quick share is fantastic. Now, what happens if you wanted to share this with somebody else, you know, who doesn't have a Samsung phone? Maybe they have like an iPhone or whatever. So pretty much if you just go through and you tap on a few of these ones and you tap that, this is where you would then tap this little share button one more time. You go inside of quick share, and then for quick share, you can actually do this option right here, which is QR code or link. So for this one, it's creating like a link. So if somebody's like right next to me, like right here, and they can actually just scan this and it's going to come to their phone. Or what'll happen is it is creating a link. So what I'll do now is I will send this link right here to the person I want to give it to. And once they have this link, then they're able to actually get all of these ones downloaded to their phone. And the cool thing about it is that this one is sitting here for like 2 days and 4 hours. So they have 2 days to get this done. And if at any point in time, let's say that they already have it, then all you'd have to do is just hit on stop sharing. So then you can just hit on stop sharing, and then now no one can have any of that at all. Now, if you're ever curious on where this whole link sharing thing is, if you go inside of your quick share settings, this is where you can scroll down and you can take a look at your link sharing history. This is where you can actually go inside of here, because if there's several of them, you can actually tap on whichever one you have set up. And when you tap on it, that is where you can send the link again. And so this is all of these that has, you know, been sent, received, all that good stuff. So now that this one is not being able to be shared again, you know, this one's pretty much all done. You are able to have a full entire 10 gigs in total of link sharing history, and that is for today. So this one will pretty much kind of reset on another day. But yes, you are able to send all the way up to 10 gigs via a link if you are a Samsung user trying to send it over to your little iPhone friend who doesn't have the quick share feature. So this way they would have all of those pictures and images, because normally, as you know, any Apple user usually asks their Samsung friend to take the photos and videos. This next feature is one that I like for applications that you use multiple times a day, and every time you go back into the application, you just want to be where you left off, and that is where you can keep an application open. So as you scroll through here, there's only a few different applications, but this one right here actually has a little lock icon, and what will happen is when I close out of all of them, you'll notice that it's actually still running. So YouTube Music, I can open up immediately. It goes right back to where I was from before. Don't have to go back to the song or anything like that. And it's very similar with any other application out there. And pretty much all you'd have to do if you are done with this one being locked, then now you can actually just hit that little lock button, and now it's gone and it's completely closed. So how you're able to set this up is you can just go to any application, and once you have them opened, you go to your recent applications. Now with the recent applications, you tap on the little icon and you go right there, and it's called Keep Open, and then it'll be locked. And again, this is just mostly for your quick launching. So let's say that you open up the little Instagram here, you pop down over here, and you get to like this video there, right? So what'll happen is you can go right up over there, you're able to keep this thing open, and then let's say that you open up some other applications, and then you get these ones going, right? So pretty much what you can do now is if you close out of all of them, if you just open this right back up, you're going to be right back to where you were from before. So you're not going to lose your place, it's not going to scroll, it's not going to reload. And it's just a way that you can just keep it open so you can go right back to where you were from before. Now this next feature is one that's not really a trick or a shortcut, but it's definitely a tip to help you with your bad habits, versus home and out and about when you're using mobile data versus Wi-Fi. So one of the things that will definitely help you out to make sure that you're not using those heavy data-driven applications, it doesn't mean that you're on it hours and hours on end, but it is an application that uses a ton of data, usually those with videos and such. But this is where you go inside of your connections, and then inside of connections, if you go to data usage, you're mostly used to looking at this number up here, which is your mobile data usage. You might even go down here and take a look at your mobile data usage here to see what you are using. And for the month of January, we're not too far into the month yet. I've used 1.67 gigs, and you can see that the majority of it is going to be my YouTube Music, and then the internet, and then YouTube TV, Pocket Champs, and a few additional others. Now, to make sure that you have good habit, just scroll down a little bit more. You can take a look at your Wi-Fi data usage, and you can see this number is quite a bit higher. So for this one, from December through January, I've used 60 gigs. And the biggest one is Instagram. And you can see that it's actually by quite a bit, which means that this one is a very, very high, heavy data-driven application. You'd be able to take a look at it, month by month. This is when I started using the S24 Ultra again. Before this, I was actually on my Z Fold 6. So back over here, you can see how it was quite a bit lower. It was like 11 gigs. I was like just getting into it. This is when I was definitely on the Z Fold 6. But this is where you can see what applications I am using and which ones are taking the most data. So pretty much, it's just a fun way to really look at your Wi-Fi data usage versus your regular mobile data. And the thing is, I'm a stay-at-home parent, so more than likely my Wi-Fi data usage is maybe higher than yours. If yours is higher than mine and you have a full-time job and you're not always on Wi-Fi, let me know what your number is at. And if you're higher than me, then you use it quite a bit. And maybe you're just using it on YouTube, or I'm sure Instagram, just like me, was taking up a bunch of its data usage. I don't know about TikTok since I don't have TikTok, but any of those applications that run a bunch of videos and such, they are very, very high data-driven applications. And now finishing off this video, this one could have been a little bit before, but because this is a part of Samsung One UI 7 beta, even though I think that this is going to help a ton of people out if you use your calendar a lot of appointments, a lot of meetings, or whatever you may be doing. One of the nice things about Samsung One UI 7 beta is that if you have an event that's happening on the 17th, you can just simply press and hold and you can move it to the 15th. So if somebody is stating, hey, I really love this time, but I can't do it today. How about tomorrow? Same time works. Boom. A little bit of a drag and drop, and now you have moved it. I mean, you would have to go back in there to change the time and such, But if at any point in time that you would want to move something around, you can simply move it around just by doing a drag and drop onto the very next day or whichever day works for them the best. So I think that's a pretty cool little shortcut or trick when it comes down to your Samsung calendar. Again, that's on Samsung One UI 7.0 beta. So hopefully you guys have appreciated this video. Hopefully you have learned something in this video. If you've learned something brand new, let me know in the comment section below which of these are brand new to you, or if I just reminded you of something that you knew you were able to do beforehand, but you totally forgot you were able to do it for the last few years. Let me know that as well in the comment section below. But hopefully you guys have appreciated it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.